Hello everyone, today's poem is 元日述怀 by Lu Zhaolin. Before we started the poem, let me say Happy Spring Festival, 春节快乐. So today is so-called 小年, the small year, so it's still 7 days ahead of the Spring Festival, which is 元日. Yuan, the first one. 日, the day. So 元日 means the first day, which actually is the New Year's Day. So the title 元日述怀, there's a lot of the poems with this title 元日述怀. For Chinese, in the New Year's Eve and also in the New Year's Day, it's a time to say farewell to the past time, and maybe you have some of the review of your past year deed or things or people. At the same time, it's also a time to look forward, to make your wish for the coming next year. So the title 元日述怀 means in the New Year's Day to express his feelings. 述 to express. 怀 means the feelings and thoughts. So the 述怀, or the express feelings poetry, is also a big chunk of the classic poetry. And writing, especially in the festivals, in the Mid-Autumn, in the Double Nine, in the Spring Festival, is the best or most probably festival that people like to review the past deed and think about something forward. So you will see a bunch of the poem with this same title or similar title. Lu Zhaolin, the poet, was one of the 4 maestros of the early Tang period. We had one of his poems, 大剑送别刘右使, and that was written when he has a position near Chengdu city today. And this poem is just after he finished his duty in that position, and he has a new retirement, so he returned to Luoyang city, the east capital, and maybe just 1 month, several months later, and then the New Year's come. Thus, he wrote this poem to review his past life and look forward to the coming years, coming days. Okay, let's look at this simple poem. 世事无中志，归耕有外臣。世事 forecast, predicting his own career path, which means he went to the divination, to the fortune tellers, to ask what his possibility or his luck in their career path. 无中志, though when he asked the fortune teller, they tell them there is no mid-rank positions in your lifetime. So which means he has no hope in his career path because he was holding a junior position of the time and he just finished that duty. So he just thought about, if I had a better position or senior position in the future, so I would focus and endeavor in his own career path in the central government. So from the first sentence, the first half, he went to the divination, and the fortune teller told him, okay, forget it. You even cannot go to the mid-level positions in the government. So 归耕有外田, so I 归 the very, very key words in Chinese language. The original meanings going home, but in the Tang Dynasty, basically it means go to a hermit, especially it followed with geng is farming. So going back and became a farmer, that means go to a hermit. 有外臣, so this sentence is reversed, should be 有外臣归耕. So there is a officer, junior officer in the remote place, and he won't go to hermit. 外臣 means the officer not in town, or not, especially not in the capital city, because in the Tang Dynasty, the most wanted job in the government is in the central government in the capital city. So he just returned from the place near Chengdu city in Sichuan province, and even he was physically lived in the east capital Luoyang. So in this means he can call him he was a 外臣, an officer from the remote place, from Chengdu city. Okay, the first sentence basically means he finished his duty in Sichuan province near Chengdu city, and he returned to the east capital, and he tried to figure out if he has a better position in the future. The answer is no. And so he decided, or he thought, I might go to the hermitage. I might to be a hermit, because there's no luck, there's no fortune in the central government for me in the future. The character 是 means to look to the divination. So even in today in the Xi'an city, there is a local saying of 尸鬼. So that's the very original words used roughly long time ago, and we can find that record in the history book about the Zhou dynasty 3,000 years ago. So in the Zhou dynasty, to look to the divination is only the privilege for the king and for the lord. When they have something big or a big plan ahead, they always do this thing, 尸鬼, and to look to the divination, to ask the fortune tellers if they can do this or do that. And finally, these words became a very normal words in the capital area, and even it was used in the Tang Dynasty, because they are still at the same location with the same dialect or same language. 人歌小岁酒，花舞大唐春. So it also a little bit reverse sequence. So it means we drink the wines of the new year and we sing at the same time with the wine drinking. And it's the spring time of the Great Tang Dynasty. The flowers dance the same time. So there's only one word to be careful, 小岁. 小岁used to be refers to one of the special days in the last month of the year. But in this poem, from the title as well, we know he's writing something in the New Year's Day, in the 元日 or 元旦we call today. So it's the New Year's Day. So the second pair of sentence means, wow, it's a New Year's Day, so as everybody and every family in the royal palace, everybody drinks and everybody sings songs. And it's the springs because it's spring festival, right? It's springtime of this prosperous Great Tang dynasty. The flowers dance as well. Well, in the reality, most of the cases there could be snows, and the only flower in blossom is the winter jasmine. All other flowers, there's no sign of the flowers and blossom, of course. So when we look to the first paragraph as a whole, so the first pair of sentences looks a little bit negative or neutral because there's no future in my career path in the central government. The fortune teller told me. Anyhow, I still have some choices. I can go to the countryside as a farmer, to be a hermit. So there's a little bit positive, and most of them is sort of the negative feelings. And in the second pair of sentences, it's so positive. Drinking wines, sing songs, and even there's few flowers or maybe no flowers around, but he feels the flowers all blossom, and it's springtime. It's a new time started. Everything refreshed. There's a new hopes ahead in this prosperous Great Tang dynasty. So it's very, very positive. So today we know this poem is roughly written in his mid-30s, and something negative happened to him. But why he still feels such positive? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because his later life is basically miserable. And maybe only months or 1 or 2 years after this poem, he was put into the prison for some very, very ridiculous reason. And then he got illness in the prison. Even the prison time is not for long. The illness cannot be recovered. So the afterlife after the prison was all about looking to the remedy for his illness. And later on, because he has some of the medicines not well managed, he was poisoned by the medicine, and he became handicapped. And he still managed to recover from the illness, and he still tried to manage his hard life in the country field with some of the farming fields. Anyhow, after this poem, some 15 to 20 years later, he can never endure such a miserable. He suicided himself by plunging himself into the river. So basically, this poem could be sort of the turning point in his lifetime. And before that, even he has some of the misfortune, bad luck, but he's still very positive. Maybe that because of the environment or the society, because it's the early time period. Everything is changing so fast, everything in a fast pace and moving forward, and the country is getting stronger and stronger, bigger and bigger. The people is getting richer and richer, and the people, the educated people who has no chance to enrolled or involved in the political life, and in the Tang dynasty, the imperial exam gave them access to the political life. It looks so positive for him and for everybody actually, because in the early Tang period and the most prosperous Tang period poetry, we can feel the atmosphere, the spirits. Everybody looks forward. His goal was big, and they all like to climb up. So it's a metaphor, or it's an implication to go to the higher position and go to the far distance to conquer the new land. So that's the spirit atmosphere almost for everyone in that period of time. 草色迷三径，风光动四邻. So finally he decided to be a hermit. He has some field, he has a small garden, and in that small garden, the fresh grass is so charming in the three paths. The three paths actually is a quotation, an allusion to a story in the Han dynasty. A hermit in the Han dynasty built three paths in front of his house. That path is only dedicated for his two best friends. So they each have a dedicated path, and the story is all about hermit. The three people are hermits. So here, 草色迷三径, the fresh grass was so charming around the three paths. Actually, he's trying to compare his living house to that hermit in the Han dynasty, and also he double confirmed he was a hermit right now. He's living in the environment of a hermit, like that person in the Han dynasty. 风光动四邻. So the scenic wells moved the neighbor around. 四邻, the neighbors around. 愿得长如此，年年物候新. So that's the wish in the New Year's Day. The before is sort of the review to the past, and then review the current status, and the last sentence is about looking forward, looking to the futures. So, or make a wish. So, 愿得, so I wish I'm always like this, like today. 常如此, so for the long time like this. 年年物候新, each year, 物候, the nature, 候, timing, is always refreshed, is new. So 新 is always a very, very positive character for Chinese. So we always like to have something new, or looking or waiting something new, or get something new. So the second paragraph basically has two parts. First thing first, I'm a hermit now. I lived in a very, very beautiful place of a hermit, and he expressed his wish to be a hermit is so great, so happy for me. I just like the the rest of life, all along the time, like today, with the things, the time is refreshed by every year. Basically, it's a very simple, express feeling poem written in the first day of the new year, in the New Year's Day. The differences or the unique things in this poem is he's in his middle ages and in the general view that he has no future in his career path. So it's sort of the negative things. Anyhow, in this poem, we feel extremely positive feelings in this poem. Even the poet, Lu Zhaolin, he decided to be a hermit. So hermit is basically a little bit negative choices for the Chinese. So normally it's really hard to explain why this poem or why the poet Lu Zhaolin feels so positive, even his future was not positive, it's negative, and his choices of his life, his rest of the life is a little bit negative to be a hermit. It's really hard to tell why he feels so positive. Even the wishes he expressed is just the nature, the time will be refreshed every year. Of course, that's the nature. It's refreshed by itself every year. So my guess is probably by the environment, the society, and the prosperous status of the Tang dynasty in that time. Just look at the words. I like it very much. 人歌小岁酒，花舞大唐春。The Great Tang dynasty, the flowers dancing, and we sing songs and we drink wines endlessly. Okay, that's for today, and I wish you all have a happy Spring Festival. And this poem is my last video in the pig years, and I also wish myself and all my friends 年年物候新, not nature, not the time. You should, and I would refresh ourselves as well. 新年快乐，年年物候新。拜拜。